Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined by the one and only Chief. Chief,
Sir?
how has back to school season found you?
Great, I guess, because I'm not going to school or teaching.
Hell yeah.
Mrs. Chief might have a very different answer to that question, but it's too early in the school year to know if there are going to be problems. But for right now, we're in that new class smell, so maybe things will be good. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm certainly not gonna curse it by saying things are going great. I've learned my lesson on that many times in the past.
A lesson I'm still waiting to learn.
It's an absurd profession, teaching. So like I know that like we have sort of this, because like it's the one thing in life when you think about it that everyone has an opinion on because we all went to school.
Yes.
And we sort of remember what worked for us or what we liked and what we didn't like. And many of our opinions are formed in a time where, there wasn't an expectation that everybody have an iPad in front of them, or where you can't just like throw your homework into Chat GPT and have it spit all the answers out for you. And so like it's weird. There's very few other things in life where everyone feels comfortable having a take based on personal experience. And most of them are wrong. Like, I would say all of them are wrong. Like, I don't think anyone has a good opinion on teaching. And I would say including teachers. I don't think anyone knows what the hell's going on, because everything is different every year. So I will say this, though. This would be my plea to people as someone who is married to a teacher.
Okay.
This is my plea to parents, voters, people alike. You have no idea what it's like out there in the streets, babe. Like, at all. Like everything that gets assigned can be cheated on. And remember I want you to think back and remember as what you were like when you were 14 and 15 and 16 or whatever age it was.
Yep.
If someone had offered you a tool that would enable you to get back to playing Mario Kart or NHL 95 faster or GoldenEye or whatever, do you think you would have taken it and gotten back to the video games or gotten back to the other stuff? Or would you have said, no, my future self will really regret if I don't put in the work to learn this material?
Oh, the temptation is just too
It's too
high.
much. It's too much. It's like the rent. It's too damn high. And every teacher out there is struggling with this mightily, and none of them have a clue how to fix this at all. Like, nobody knows what to do right now. So if you see that the teacher is a little more at wit's end a little earlier in the year, it's because the teacher is assigned with the task of forcing people who don't want to learn something to learn something. And at the end of the year, there's like a state test that they all the kids have to pass. Yeah. And the state test is grossly indifferent to whether or not the kids spent the entire year on Chat GPT or actually learning the material. So just, be chill. Everyone's going through it right now. I can say that very confidently as a #teacher husband. Everyone's going through it right now.
Chief, I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast. My dream forever was to be a teacher. I went to school to be a teacher. I was in the College of Education, whatever its formal title was, at the University of Cincinnati, and that was going to be my my path there. But about halfway through that, I was still on good terms with a lot of my teachers back in high school. I had a bunch of friends whose parents were teachers in different school districts and around the country and stuff like that. And I asked them about being a teacher and what it's like. And I asked every single one of them. So I would have asked 7 or 8 active teachers. And I asked them, should I become a teacher? Like, if you could do it over again, would you do this? Every single one of them said no. They said, don't do it.
Oh, it sucks. Like, anyone that does this for a profession has the most respect I can possibly muster. It's like, pitch you on a job. It's like, all right, is the pay great? Not really. Like, am I measured on things that are within my control? Like, is my work product judged on things that, like, I have control over? Not really. Your work product is going to be judged based on who shows up and walks through the front door of this school, and that's going to be based on geography, and we can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about like flexible hours? You'll have none of that at all.
The opposite.
The opposite, in fact. Like, you want to, hop on a plane and go someplace because the airfare is cheap for a vacation. Hope it falls into one of the breaks that you have pre-scheduled, because otherwise you get 2 or 3 days off a year, and that's it. Like 2 or 3 unscheduled days. So work from home possibility, not on your life. No. We tried that in 2020. Never again. Never, ever again.
Yeah, you can work from home if something catastrophic is happening.
Yeah. Like nuclear fallout. Yeah, maybe we'll think about doing that again. But really and truly, the radiation levels have to be really high before we shut schools down again. So I'm not being paid well. I have no control over whether or not my work product is evaluated, well.
Yeah.
I have no flexibility on hours. I have no work from home benefits. It's like, yeah, sign me the hell up. That sounds great. And then if anything goes wrong or anything is tough in any way, like, oh, this stinks, you have to do this, and we don't want to do this, everyone will shame you with, but it's for the kids. Do you really want to hurt the kids?
Yep.
It's like, it's not acceptable in that moment to say, I'm just like, you can't pull the Marshawn Lynch. I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
You've got to be like enthusiastic about, yeah, no, I will give up my weekend to chaperone prom for the kids. Or yeah, I will show up at this sporting event to wave at everyone at halftime because it's for the kids, or whatever it is. Right. If you know someone in your life that is doing that for a living, they are human saints, uncanonized human saints.
Yes.
And please just give them some space for the first couple weeks of August and September.
Chief, on top of all of that, your sort of long-term job prospects are in the hands of various voters, oftentimes local, but also statewide and also national. So
I don't know. I couldn't imagine living like that. Ever. Couldn't be me.
At least your specific fate had the same pool of voters ultimately determining sort of the longer term job prospects. Like, Department of Education's existence is sort of a coin flip, it feels like. The state of Ohio writes the curriculum, or the state of Kentucky writes largely the curriculum.
Let's be real. It's the lobbyists and the donors write the curriculum.
It's whoever's got the biggest paycheck and whoever got their party elected. Fair play.
It's the new health pyramid includes the 5 food groups plus data and AI.
Yeah,
true. It's the 6th food group that everyone needs to live.
It's very important to feed your local LLMs. That's very important.
It's like data centers and farmlands. They provide the exact same thing for all of us. And how dare you oppose one and not oppose the other?
I'm now imagining something like a data pantry, like a food pantry, but it's like, oh, here's some journals I wrote when I was in middle school that the AI hasn't eaten yet. Let me put this over here for a hungry LLM to consume later.
Then all of a sudden, like, the Amazon truck pulls up, like, skids the tires, and they grab it out of your hands. It's like, no, that belongs to us now.
Oh man, no, it's,
back to school in the Wallace household. Good, kiddos good, everybody good.
It's good. We're on to 3rd grade and 1st grade, so that's exciting. And we're doing the bus this year. This is a first one for us. So
starting the urbanism early, right there.
We got to indoctrinate them. I think it's funny that, like, you think of the idea of like, oh, well, buses can't work in suburbs because that's too many stops and you can't get like the large buses through there. But then all through the school year, we've got very large buses running all through there. I understand funding's a whole thing, but like, the suburbs have a bus system. It just serves a very specific market.
I don't know if I've told this story in the podcast. I got kicked off the bus in 5th grade for selling candy out of my backpack at the back of the bus. We'd go to like Sam's Club. I would buy it in bulk, and we would get Airheads. I'd buy a box of 100 for $5, and then sell each one for $0.25.
Oh.
And so I was rolling up to Johnny's Toys with a fistful of quarters buying Super Nintendo games. And I was told by the anti-capitalists on the bus system. You're not allowed to do this anymore, which just encouraged me to keep doing it, but try to be sly about it. So it was like 5th grade, looking like a drug dealer, saying, "Man, you can't say the airhead, the A word. You can't say that."
You've got street terms for airheads.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to call this pot. You got to call
Yeah.
this pot.
You got to call it. Come on. If anyone asks, it's acid. All right. It's a different A word. And so I had to like explain to my parents as a full on 12-year-old or 10-year-old that I'm not allowed to ride the bus for a week because I was told I'm not allowed to sell candy, and I kept selling candy. So my parents had to drive me to school for a full week.
That's tough.
I didn't have to give the money back though, so that kind of worked out.
That's nice. Looking back on it, if you had cut the bus driver in, I feel like he would have been okay.
Yeah, they don't teach like where I do sympathize with people that criticize the education system is that's the sort of thing we need to learn is that like the school should have taken me aside and been like, look, your problem wasn't selling the airheads. It was that you didn't let the bus driver wet the beak.
Yeah.
And if you'd have done that, you probably could have gotten away with this. Like that would have been a valuable sort of lesson in how life really works is you got to cut other people in and make them stakeholders in your criminal enterprise right there. You got to make sure you're making sure that the right people are looking the other way if you want to get away with this.
Look, Chief, if you had walked on that bus every Monday with a $5 gas card for your bus driver, there's no way they're stopping you. You don't have to say it out loud. There's no quid pro quo.
No,
but,
I appreciate you driving us here. I appreciate you focusing all your attention on the road in front of you and nothing in that rear view mirror. We all know that camera. We all know that camera you installed isn't recording shit. The red light is just there to scare us. We know that. No. I know that. You know that.
There's no and like, tape in there.
Yeah, and look. This is for you. And if we're on the same page, I can skim the white mysteries off the top for you, and you can have those right there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Of the week.
Yeah, but that's a little taste at the end. We need to make sure that we get through the week, get a good week of profit, make sure that we're in the black for the week, and then we go to the black. You can have the white. That's how this works right here.
See, come on now.
See, I didn't. That would have been a valuable skill to learn instead of the mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell.
Hasn't come up a whole lot in my life, but I'm glad I know it.
Yeah.
And a teacher spent their whole life to teach me that, and I appreciate that. And that's the important thing.
So thank you, Father Stegert, AP Biology.
Thank you. I'm not going to remember her first name. Mullins will work. Okay. Chief, there is a soccer game we have to talk about. I feel like we should just talk about this briefly because by the time anybody listens to this, it's in the rearview mirror. We've got Seattle coming to town. I don't want to harp on it too much, but just sort of top line takeaway. How do we feel coming out of Wednesday night?
A lot better than we would have if Evander hadn't done his Superman thing at the end of the game.
It's pretty fun to watch.
Don't you get the sense every so often that Evander just has like a push to win button where he's like, I'm going to choose to win this soccer game. And then we win this soccer game. And Lucho had that a little bit too.
Yeah.
And okay, so top line takeaway. If you want the spicy top line takeaway?
I do.
At the end of this game, did you get the sense I've seen this movie before? And I don't like the way it ended the first go around. You a MVP candidate, number 10, the engine that drives the offense, scoring a last-minute goal to give the FC a win, running towards the Bailey, kissing the badge, pointing at the field, saying, "This is my city."
He did double fingers.
Double fingers down. Double fingers down.
Lucho did.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Two. This is my city right here. After bailing the team out yet again.
But here's the thing. When Lucho did it at the time, I was in love. I thought, my God, he'll play here till he's 43.
Yeah.
And this will be the greatest story ever in Cincinnati sports. Look, I don't know how the Evander story ends, but I'll tell you this much. from what I knew about Lucho then and what I know about Lucho now, certainly, I like where Evander's head is. I
Yeah.
also think I haven't gone back to check this. Evander's younger, right?
We need like
Yeah.
stat boy to fact check. All I
Yeah.
know is that when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
big video game nerd, video game enthusiast, everybody knows this about me. Played a game back in the day. Some of the listeners may have played it. Final Fantasy VII. End of disc 1, spoiler alert, Eris dies. They remake the game here recently, and I'm playing through it thinking, maybe they'll change this time.
No.
Sure enough, that girl dead.
That's a very important moment in video game history.
It is. Like... I'm just saying that sometimes when you're watching the sequel or you're watching the remake, you're thinking to yourself, they're not going to do the exact same thing, right? And I had that feeling watching this last night of, don't say that if you don't mean it, man, because I've been hurt before and I've seen this, and it feels like we're following a similar trajectory.
Yeah, we've been told I love you before, and we've been left at the altar. Okay?
Yeah.
So, like...
Now, having said that, I do feel like, at this point, like, the vibes with Evander do feel a little better.
Yeah.
The vibes with Lucho always felt a little chaotic. It definitely felt like a relationship where we got love bombed a little, I think is what the kids call it.
Yeah.
But it always felt a little unstable. That, like, he keeps saying he loves me, but then he does very crazy things, and he says he loves me. I don't know, but Evander, I don't get he hasn't headbutted anyone. We haven't had to start a silent protest, so I mean that's a positive, I think.
That true. I like where Evander's at. I'm fine with this. Like the fact that Evander is excited and happy to do this and he's doing those things, I think that's good. And I think what ultimately burned the bridge with Lucho, and I think we have many hours of podcast talking about this, is after he demanded to move, we were done with him. Like he built that bridge to burn it, and like Evander's building it up. So if you're sort of like conspiracy minded, right, and you want to read into like how a player's feeling 5 seconds after scoring a game-winning goal in a hard-fought game in the rain, if you really think the player's like playing like 4D chess here, if you think that like Evander's going to like try to angle for a move and he's trying to make himself the good guy to make like Albright and FCC look like the bad guys when he goes to do it, the second the news comes out that Evander's looking for a move, it's dead. Like if he doesn't do this move, he can be like, Evander's a good player, makes sense. He's not at the end of his career. Maybe he does have another shot in Europe or, a giant club in Mexico, whatever the club is, right? But he's done this now. So like he's staked his claim. So now anything he does from here is on him. And I'm fine with that. Like if that's where he wants to be, then I'm going to hold him to, not unlike Grayson and FC Cincinnati, I'm going to hold Evander to the standard that he has now set, which is this is his city. He loves this city, and he has told us via press conferences that his goal here is to win championships. And maybe the most frustration he has is that he doesn't feel like we're knocking on a championship door. And
yeah,
I mean,
you know who else? You know who else said that?
Yeah, but then he joined Dallas, so I don't believe him.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Look, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but I am a connect the dots guy. Big connect the dots guy. Like that was Lucho's thing. That's like after, point to the badge, love this city. It was framed at the time through various intermediaries that the club was not committed to doing what Lucho thought needed to be done. And again, this is Lucho Acosta's opinion. I have no idea what FC Cincinnati under Lucho control would look like. It would probably be kind of chaotic and crazy because that's kind of the way Lucho Acosta was. Yeah. But like, here we find ourselves where we have, again, the same position, creative MVP force who, I don't know that he's outright said that he thinks things need to be different or that there needs to be. But here we find ourselves on a team where the transfer window is wide open, and this sort of ties into a point a little bit later. And nothing's going on. And if you think that like that this team needs something more to support you,
Yeah.
it does feel like I'm just saying. I've played this game before.
Yeah.
The graphics were a little worse the last time, but I've played through it already.
But what's the alternative, right? Like to recruit
Yeah.
worse players who don't want to win.
But that's the funny thing is that I look at this and I'm like, I was fired up seeing that. Like, hell yeah, point to the badge. I need more of this. Like, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Oh no.
Oh, hey.
But like, what do I want? Do I want the player that just sort of like doesn't do that? No,
Right.
I don't want that at all. So at some point, I need to get over being hurt by the badge point and the "this is my city" and just accept the fact that we sometimes say crazy things in the afterglow.
Yeah, and to be clear, like I don't think he's playing 4D chess. I think
I
he's
don't either.
genuinely expressing emotion after a hard-fought game. Again, it started off beautiful night, ended more or less beautiful night. Right in the middle there was a torrential downpour, cleared out the nice seats, and it was something else, man. But
it was scenes out of a movie.
Oh.
Yeah, scenes out of a movie.
And who got the assist? Who got the assist, Chief?
Dotto.
Welcome back, Dotto. Not in Pat Noonan's banishment realm, He got right back into the starting lineup the second he was available. Nice.
Can we trust tree a little bit with Dotto right now?
Don't do this to me.
I have to. I love you, man. Dotto. I was talking to Dotto because I know he's one of the 12. He's one of the ones that listens to the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Why wouldn't he? With the amount of glazing that Kevin gives him.
If there was a podcast dedicated to loving me, I'd tune in.
Yeah, obviously. I need Dotto to pull the trigger on some of these plays a little sooner, because there were multiple times where the ball found its way to Dotto and the break went to die. And now you listen to Pat Noonan's comments after the game, and Pat talks specifically about the goal that Evander scores at the end, that part of what he liked about it was that the team didn't try to play too fast, even though there was only 2 minutes of the refs like, we're done with this game. Like, you all get a tie. It's raining. It's a midweek game. You're getting 2 minutes. We're out of here. Yeah. There was no intention that they were going to let anyone score to do that, to end that game there. But he praises this goal with the idea that they still played through with smart passing the New York City defense. So when you see Dotto pull back from going on to the break, it does feel like there's a little bit of a coaching decision with what's going on. But even still, I mean, there was some timid play from Dotto in particular where it's just like, just pass the ball. Like, do something quickly. Like, it's on. Get the ball to Ender. Get the ball to Evander. Just go. And I do worry a little bit. My other top line takeaway from this game, because this is all sort of like one song here, and I'm curious what your take on this is that this game and the Orlando game felt very FCC 2025 and 2024 coded, where it was, you look, they lose the XG battle on both these games. The Orlando one's close. It's 50-50. It's a pretty deserved draw, I think, on the XG. This one, they lose pretty handedly, like 1.2, 1.1 to 1.8, 1.9. So almost about a full goal, like 3/4 of a goal difference on that. It's a lot of bailout defending, relying on Roman to stop a lot of point-blank shots and a lot of tough shots. They get their moment of brilliance on Evander's goal to win. They get their usual goal from the run of play from Kenji and Boma Dem. But this was not the dynamic offense and the blitz offense that we've seen. It felt very how this team has won games the last few years. And it's 2 straight games on that. And I am, in monitor mode right now, where if this is the part in the season where the pragmatism has taken over and the let's have a high-flying offense has taken a back seat as being unsustainable for other goals that the coaching staff might have regarding the defense.
Yeah. So I know what you're saying, and I could certainly feel that. What I think is, at the end of the day, I don't think it is an either or proposition. I think it is possible to have a great high flying offense and a stout defense. Like, this is a defense that was starting Kyle Smith, who was not supposed to be a starter at this point. We know the team is looking at other defensive options. I think, not necessarily saying that like personnel will fix this, but I'm saying that, maybe we were better at transition defense with another pair of young legs that we trust on the back line, or maybe another option at wing back that allows us to get more flexible, and somebody who can chase back and do the defensive work. Like, there's certainly some things you could tinker with on the sides, and we've seen different versions of that throughout FCC's life here. But what I like to know is that as the roster is constructed right now, it is possible to play the pragmatic game and grind out the results. It's also possible for this team to light up the scoreboard. And I like both of those being possibilities, because that wasn't necessarily the case in 24 or 25. I think it was not even all that possible in 23. 23 was a stout defensive team that had spectacular performances, but only had one or two games where we truly blew out a team. So I like that this team it can maybe do a little bit more of that. And it's up to the coaching staff and obviously the players to get all of that clicking at the same time. And look, if the game plan of the team is, oh, well, we'll just have spectacular players and they'll make spectacular plays, that's fine. That's how like every MLS Cup is won. That's how Miami wins. That's how LAFC won. That's how Vancouver won. Like, at the end of the day, you might need a stud goalkeeper to make a bunch of stud saves. And you might need a league MVP to make league MVP plays to win it for you. And that's fine. Like, MLS isn't the kind of league where you can build a team like Arsenal or Manchester City where it can be a symphony of beautiful passes. At a certain point, you got to be able to do a couple of things correct. And ours is Evander and Celentano right now, or Celentano right. Or Evander and sometimes the defense as a whole. Yeah. And that's fine. That might be enough.
Other thoughts on this game too. Big picture. Matt Miazga.
2 games.
I mean, that's now. two in a row. I don't know.
Do we?
Like,
say
I don't
the
know.
World Cup break.
Well, I mean, other than his little snafu with Columbus, with that awful going to the ground,
which we
but
found
like
out
other
Tori Pensa was the
referee. Yeah, no.
Penalty.
Apparently we just drew the wrong person from pro for that one. But even in that game, other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Play.
Yeah, he was pretty good in that game too.
Yeah.
I thought, like, not bad. Like, yeah, it has been a pretty decent run of form for Matt, I think. And it's helped a ton. I like seeing it because I have said this before on this podcast. I am an unabashed Matt Miazga supporter. I will be a Matt Miazga supporter for long after he leaves the FC. If there is one Matt Miazga fan, I am him. If there are no Matt Miazga fans, it is because I am dead. Like, that's how I am. He's my guy. I love me a shithead on the back line. I love that with all my heart. I don't know. Like, I went into this window thinking that it would be a problem if Matt Miazga was on this roster past the window. If he can play like this, his salary is what it is. Like, there's no getting around that.
Right.
But, like, realistically, if you're going to bring somebody in that's better, it's probably going to be at about the same price, and you're probably going to have to give them, not even probably, you're certainly going to have to give them a longer term deal than Matt's 1 year. Color me curious with Matt Miazga for the rest of the year. Like, if it can keep looking like this, and you can keep seeing improvement like this from where it was at the beginning of the year, fine.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to win best. He's not going to win defender of the year, but that's a service. These are serviceable starting MLS outings right now from him is what we're getting, I think.
Yeah. Something I thought about for the first time in a long time when I did the season preview with David Goss. I said Miazga would maybe play 100 minutes this season.
I was waiting. I was waiting to bring that back up. I was going to see how high the number could get before it's not comical enough yet to rub your nose in that.
I was going to say we'll hit 1,000 minutes or something, or 1,500 minutes, and I'll look like a real idiot. But the thing is, and we did see it already this season, least we forget, there was a whole World Cup in between this. He does get injured. And so you don't want to get to the point with this team. I think it would be bad if we are relying on him and maybe even making decisions in the transfer window, relying on him in September 2nd or whenever the window closes, the day after the window closes, he goes down with a hamstring injury or a knee injury. And that's the end of that. So,
right. No, I don't think that this means they don't have to go shot. I still think they need to bring in at least one center back in the window. I mean, they got rid of one with Gilberto Flores. I think they need to bring at least one more in.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's imperative that they bring two now, would be where I'm at on this.
And that's also because you were impressed with Teenage Hadebi in this game.
Can we talk about this?
He had a good game except for the first 8 seconds.
First 30 seconds he was in. Yeah, no, it was he was fine except for the first play from scrimmage. He almost got burned for a deep touchdown, and it was bad.
Yeah, he had a really, really bad giveaway. but he had a couple of great clearances. He covered well for the rest of the game. Yeah.
I don't trust anything about him being in the game. I just don't. That trust is probably irreparably broken at this point. I don't know that there's enough good Teenage Hadebi performances that can be strung together in order to make me feel warm and fuzzy about Teenage coming into a match.
Yeah.
But the defense was fine overall, which is kind of like a theme of the last couple of weeks with this team. The defense is kind of fine.
Well, whichever Dr. Miazga went to, Obi must have also gone to this guy because since the World Cup break, Obi has looked like vintage Obi. I'll say it. I'm seeing shades of 2022, 2023 Obi. And if he can keep this up, it would be amazing. Congrats to him, by the way, 150 appearances. I still think there should be plaques or some sort of commemorative record for everybody who has 100 caps for this club. He is certainly...
They should do that. Somewhere in the stadium, there should be a wall or something where it's that commemorates, maybe in the corner, along the walls on the field level, there's a commemorative plaque or something, and you get your name etched in when you reach 100 caps for the team. I like that a lot.
100 caps is 2.5, 3 years of being a starter, potentially way more than that. It makes a lot of sense. I would make one small exception for Kenny Walker, who did all 3 years in USL and finished at 96 caps or something like that. But otherwise, I don't think you can argue with the 100 cap list that we have. And Obi in particular, as much as the story is Albright and Noonan turning the franchise around, blah, 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 Obi has absolutely been the key piece of that and maintaining that success. And this team is more successful the better and healthier Obi is. He's looking pretty good right now. I think that bodes well for the future if he can keep this up.
Yeah, it's interesting too how defensive midfielders just don't tend to get shine.
Yeah.
In MLS, they're just not recognized. Tom Bogert did a thing, or maybe it was Twellman. Twellman did a thing a couple of weeks ago where he was asking basically who are the 10 best designated players in MLS history, and would Carlos Heel be on that list? And I was trying to go through in my mind and think about who do I think the top 10 were, and without looking at other people's lists. And a player that I think is locked on is Diego Chara from Portland. And I was looking, and it's nobody else puts him on there, and it's oh. But I don't think I'm crazy that he's been the best defensive midfielder for like what, a decade in this league, and just this league does not value what that is, or like, people that like look at it just, oh, he doesn't score goals, he doesn't assist goals. If you have an elite player like that, like Obi or Chara on your roster, it, like we're seeing now, it makes the center backs better. Like it makes the entire back line look better. It makes everyone look better.
Yeah.
And Obi's feeling well, because I think this is like 2 games in a row where he's put a ball like 15 rows up, taking a shot.
He's feeling real bad.
Yes. he's feeling all right when he's like, I got this. When all evidence points to the fact that no, Obi, you don't got this.
I think FC Cincinnati fans would be shocked to learn that Obi at one point in his career was like an attacking winger. So he's got that skill set in there. So,
no, he doesn't. He does not. It's not there.
It's
not
there.
To
me, damn it.
It is not real.
Chief, can I give you the list of 15 players that I would have some sort of commemoration or memorial thereof with 100 caps?
All right.
Rounding up a little bit for Kenny Walker, who finished with 91 caps in USL. So this means he was a starter for 3 years. So you basically need to be a starter for 3.5, 4 seasons minimum to make this list. And I think this tells an interesting story of FC Cincinnati. So it is counting up Kenny Walker, Sergio Santos, Jimmy McLaughlin, Ian Murphy, Matt Miazga, Corbin Bone, Pavel Buka, Alvaro Barreal, Brandon Vasquez, Obina Wobodo, Lucho Acosta, Albus Powell is number 4, Roman Celentano number 3, Nick Hagland number 2, and of course, Yuya Kubo at number 1. Hagland is 5 appearances away from tying Kubo, 6 away from passing him. Chief, my question to you, does he do it?
Man.
Early this season, it was a lock. Now, coin flip? Maybe
coin flip?
Long shot? Oh, man.
You get the sense this is Hagland's last ride. Like, that this is it. I hope he does. But, like, that's going to be tough because it's just, if you're not starting as a center back, you don't get, like, other than last night, which is a right. Bad timing for this point, you don't tend to get subbed in a ton.
He doesn't
5 games. What do we have, like 14 to play right now?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I would have bet the farm on that before the year started, but because I mean it's very clear that he's been passed on the depth chart by Teenage Adabi. For I don't know that I agree with that, but it is what it is. And he's certainly been passed by Kyle Smith, who is up there. I think that when he's healthy, Andre Chirilla is probably ahead of him, but I don't know what's going on with Andre Chirilla. I don't think anyone knows what's going on with Andre Chirilla.
Are they? The only thing that makes sense is, one, they don't trust him, or he's just not getting it done in training, which we just don't have insight to. And the coaches are going to throw him under the bus.
And they haven't said anything that would even give you a hint of that. And in fact, everything you hear is that they're very impressed with Andre Chirilla, both publicly and privately, from what you talk to people.
So the only thing I could think of, and I don't want to start a labor union dispute here, but are they avoiding some sort of guaranteed contract thing?
The other thing too is that there's all sorts of reasons. I don't want to speculate, but there are benign reasons why it could be the case. It could be that he is above Hagland, but he's below Kyle Smith and Teenage, and they're like, well, the odds of him getting in are really low, so we'd rather him get minutes in FCC2, which they've kind of hinted at. There could also be a fitness thing where something's going on that he's not able to go on short rest or whatever, and they're making the choice that we need to have players available that are fully fit. I mean,
is he a
he might have
and
he might have
that NYCFC. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say he might have homework due or something like that.
That's a good. It's back to school week. It's
back to
that's such a good point.
He didn't do the summer reading, so he's got to do that real quick and cram that for the test.
If it's a school night, can he not work past a certain hour? Right?
Well, he's 18 now. He's 18 now. He just turned 18.
Okay.
Yeah, he just turned 18 like a week ago or like a couple days ago.
Well, that might explain what was happening
The
before.
previous, yeah. Yeah, he's not allowed to work so many hours without a break. And since they're not taking hydration breaks, he would have to clock out at a certain point.
I know with Kevin Sullivan, they literally had to sub him out before like 9 o'clock or something on a couple of games
For like for child labor laws or something like that. Yeah.
Oh man. Something to think about.
The Department of Labor has been defunded at this point, right? Like there can't be any rules about wage and hour laws anymore.
Yeah, no. And I don't think there's anything explicitly in the CBA about not playing youngsters at certain times or whatever. So, is that how they backdoor hydration breaks? Is that
we need to give Andre Chirilla his 15-minute break? Well, but the hydration break's only 3 minutes. That wouldn't cover it. You need to have. I'm just remembering that like
hydration breaks. Okay,
look,
fine. I'm hearing it from you.
I'm just remembering back in the day to when I worked at the Milford Multiplex, and we had to worry about like the underage kids getting a break every so often. It was really annoying. It's like I have to go on my break or we'll get written up. It's like there's people that want popcorn, man. Clock out later. I don't know what to tell you. Lord of the Rings starts in 15 minutes, man. Nobody cares.
Let me think. What else with this game? Oh, good job for Kenji. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah. Second round super draft pick, paying dividends. I don't know. I do think it's funny, though, that it feels like Kevin Denke was trying to steal his goal. And then
a little bit,
Kenji got it anyway, because like the ball was very well placed for Kenji. And then Kevin was like, my touchdown.
They had another moment, too, that was a little wishy-washy as to who was actually supposed to be going for that. But I like that they're both hungry. That's good. And
yeah. Kevin's like, hey, kid, I need to get a transfer approved to the Premier League. Wait in line.
Kenji's like, I think my name came up in the French press.
Yeah. Shut up, Rook.
Oh, God. Well, fantastic win. I will be wearing my Ball and Gainer friendship bracelet for the rest of my life. Sam, there you go. Chief, let's move over to part 2. We actually have a little FC Cincinnati news to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up with a little Seattle talk. All right, we are back, and Chief, wouldn't you know it, we went an entire World Cup break with almost no news for this team, and then we got some news. So Austin is making some moves. We'll talk a little bit more about this in the World's Gam, but they went out and poached a GM from Minnesota United. This was a big hire for Minnesota back when they did it. However, we learned with some follow-up reporting from one Tom Bogert and confirmed by Laurel. At least we're putting all of our eggs in a Bogert-shaped basket. Chris Albright was the first pick, or certainly asked about during this process to join Austin. And he's under contract with FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati said no. So according to how these things work, you don't get permission from the team that holds the contract. You then don't get to ask the player, or in this case, the GM. However, I know, we all know, there's some back channels going. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, Chief. Would Albright have gone if FCC said yes?
I mean, Jim Curtin's going to be the coach down there.
That is confirmed.
Yeah, you don't wonder if that wasn't something that was interesting, a reunion with Jim Curtin, a chance to start fresh and basically start your clock in terms of a rebuild over a little bit. It's a similar market to Cincinnati in terms of new stadium, pretty decent fan base, income tax-free state, I believe, Texas right now.
Yep.
Located nearby to data centers, a lot of those, but they just banned those, I believe I saw today. Austin.
Pro game in town. Granted, the other game is Texas
The
Longhorns.
Texas Longhorns, yeah. And Arch Manning's about to graduate this year. It'll go to the NFL, so you don't have that as competition much longer. You will be in the winter schedule directly competing with Longhorns football for the entirety of the year. Not into January and February, because they're definitely not going to make the playoffs very often. Yeah, I don't know. The curtain angle makes it interesting, and I'm assuming that the curtain angle is why Albright's name came up, because I'm assuming they asked Jim Curtin, who do you think that you would like to work with as a GM? He can't very well say Ernst Tanner right now for any number of reasons that are covered by a non-disclosure agreement, I would bet.
I also don't think those two got along all that
I
well.
don't think so either. Yeah, no. But like, here's the deal, is that there's no reality where Cincinnati's going to allow this to happen, because even if you think of a world where, yeah, we're indifferent on Chris Albright remaining here, there's been some good, there's been some bad. I think that the bad that people talk about online is vastly overstated, considering the fact that this is the down year for the FC, and we're still, in 4th or 5th place? I think 5th place in the East.
5th place, knocking on 4th place.
Yeah, by 3 points, we're down from 4th right now. So, and that's with a horrendous start to the year.
Yeah.
So, Albright's done nothing but good here in Cincinnati. You can quibble a little bit, maybe, with some of the with some of the decisions that have been made, but like the aforementioned Kenji Mboma Dem, 2nd-round super draft pick, banging goals in. Roman Celentano, shot stopper, 1st-round super draft pick. Made the Evander deal, made the Kevin Denke deal, brought in Ender Echenike on a U22, brought in Sammy Guidi on a U22. Like, Obi signed him as a DP, put that down in ink. There's so many good moves that he's made. I think that the case against Albright's a little overstated right now by some of the fans. But if you're FC Cincinnati, even if you think you're ready to move on, letting your GM get poached, it feels like a small-time, like, Mid-American Conference move. Like, oh, we can't keep this guy, and we're going to let somebody else outbid him. If I'm owning this team, I would rather fire him than let somebody else take him off my hands, just because I'm in control of that, whereas the other one, the narrative looks like you got alphaed by another team in the league.
Well, it's also, too, that, like, we see it more and more every year. There's developing a sort of hardening of tiers in MLS, where you have your more ambitious, more spendy teams, you've got your middle class teams, and you've got your bottom feeder teams, and they're sort of coalescing into these 3 groups. And Austin and Cincinnati are right on the cusp of that tier 1, right? Like, not afraid to spend. The thing is, Austin hasn't had quite the success that Cincinnati has. They played in a cup final, but also it's like the Open Cup in this new version, so it doesn't really count as much. But in my mind, these are sort of peer markets. If it was Miami or LAFC or potentially even LA Galaxy, like, maybe that does mean something else. Or maybe even like a NYCFC, where it's like, oh, you get to join, City Football Group Mothership. Like, that would be great for your career. Potentially Red Bull for similar reasons. But to go to Austin, which is going to offer you similar perks as Cincinnati, like, they'll spend, they got a nice facility, they got a nice stadium, they've got fewer pro teams, but they have a massive college team that sucks all the oxygen out of the air down there. There's more pro teams in Cincinnati, but you're kind of on level footing or getting close to approaching some version of equilibrium there. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it feels like a lateral move, and you look bad as an organization if you do that. So,
yeah, you can't let that happen.
Could you command a $10 million transfer fee for a GM? Maybe you look at it a little different, but I don't think you let him go for nothing or next
for nothing. No. And Albright's under contract with the FC, I want to say, through 2028. So yeah. I wouldn't. Nothing about that surprises me. I would have been surprised, and tune into the World's Game. I am surprised that any team ever lets their GM interview while under contract. unless you're planning on firing them anyway.
While the window is open, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Not me. Not for me.
This is getting your head football coach poached in the middle of transfer portal season or something.
Nope.
Like, what are you doing? We got recruits here, man.
Yeah, no, you got a soccer team to run. Stop this. Talk in the off season.
Yeah, or like when the window's closed.
Yeah,
the die is cast, right? Then
because you're not going down. You're not going down to Austin to make any moves right now. You got 2 weeks left in the window. They're not doing shit.
No, and all their DPs are spoken for, and they've got a Brandon Vasquez DP deal, which God love him. I just read his name on a list of guys that we should be commemorating physically in or around the stadium. That's a worse DP deal than Miles Robinson. I'll say it. I'll throw my take out there with that. So
hard to disagree.
So now, granted, he's been hurt, but also you got to factor that in. So
number one ability is availability.
Yeah. So.
Many people saying. No news on the transfer rumor front, which, wash, rinse, repeat.
So, Chief, we're getting close to the window closing. We keep hearing news that they're working. You have to assume they're working. Like, when Obi was signed, I remember the Post. I had tweeted out from the Post, like, breaking news. FC Cincinnati is looking at bringing in a defensive midfielder this window, because it was like,
the most obvious need.
I didn't know anything. It was just like, duh, of course they are.
Right.
What are we doing here? When should I be panicking now? Because I feel like panicking right now. There's been no public links, nothing reported.
Knowing our luck, the news is going to break tomorrow after we release the episode. That's how this always happens. Late. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's how this always works. The reason why I would not panic is that, number one, Albright has, I believe, in every window has made some move. Now, it might not be the move you are craving in all situations, but
I am craving Joaquine for dinner.
Yeah, so. Many people. Like, is that like a frozen entree section you can find Joaquine?
Yeah, Stouffer's makes it.
Yeah. So Albright always does something. I'd be floored if he does nothing, because doing nothing sends the worst message to the locker room that all these other teams are getting better. There are no reinforcements on the way for you. You have to do something, even if it is like a Dominic Mark Zook type move where we're loaning in a U22 with our open U22 spot from somewhere. Yeah. So something is going to happen. They have a senior roster spot cleared. They have GAM. They have a U22. We're told they have enough money to make a TAM signing as well. I think something is going to happen. And remember, too, lest we panic, like, Brenner didn't come in last year until the last day of the transfer window, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, that was down to the wire to get that deal across the finish line before the window closed.
Was announced well after the window because it got done within like 10 minutes of the window closing.
Yeah. So it's like, should you panic? No, there's time, and it is what it is in terms of the deal gets done when the deal is done. And so I think something will happen. And I think the Joaquini thing is kind of instructive here, where I would guess, and this is not, no rumors, no inside information. Nobody's talking about anything we're doing right now. Believe me, if it's happening, or they're not talking to me about it if they're doing it. Put it that way. I would be willing to bet, based on Albright's previous tendencies, that there are moves that they are targeting right now and trying to get done, and they have a couple break in case of emergency plans that probably are of the type like the Joaquini move type. We're getting a loan in, we get someone that we don't love enough to buy, but we do need some extra help here, and this is help. Maybe not a solution, but help. And so I would imagine there's probably something that gets done. And it would not surprise me as well if a full-on move happens in the next couple of days. I don't know. But I don't think nothing is happening.
Okay. Well, I won't panic yet.
Not yet.
I'll save my panic for Sunday's recording session. If
Fair
we
enough.
don't have anything, I guess Friday. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, things could happen over the weekend. But if we don't have anything by recording on Sunday, I may be in full panic mode.
Fair enough. Well,
Uh,
speaking of the weekend, we got Seattle coming in.
that's a team in panic mode. Let's go talk about
Speaking
that.
of peak in panic mode, yeah.
All right, part 3. We look ahead to this weekend's match. By the time you listen to this, tomorrow's match, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. FC Cincinnati host the Seattle Sounders. Chief, if you had to guess, what position in the table is the Seattle Sounders out of 30?
It's probably higher than I think for some reason. Like 19?
They're 20th.
All right. Because like it seems like they've been in a free fall for months, but it's Seattle. It feels like there's a cap on how bad things get.
So, according to the form table, which is every team's last 5 results in the league, they are the only team with 5 losses.
That doesn't fill me with happiness. Like it feels like I hate it when teams feel like they're due for a win.
Well, even Sporting Kansas City, who's dead last, has a win. And then Atlanta and Austin, who are the next two, have 2 wins in their last 5 games. Seattle Sounders currently have a -5 goal differential, and they have 24 points, which is not that far off from our 30, granted, but this is a team that is on, I believe, one of, if not their worst regular season losing streak in club history. And this is a history that goes back quite some time. If you erase their League's Cup win over Querétaro on August 9th, they have not had a win since May 13th.
Oh my God.
Uh,
That's
they,
brutal.
they were on a hell of a run through CONCACAF Champions League as well. And then it all fell apart. They beat San Jose May 13th and then loss. So yeah, they're not in a good spot. They're coming off of 2 losses in particular that are rough. 2-0 loss to Vancouver. That was not far removed from the 2-1 loss to Portland, which was not far removed from the 5-1 loss to Portland. So losing to Cascadia in a big way. And then
I watched that Vancouver game. They looked toothless in that game. Like unable to generate anything remotely approaching an offensive chance. I haven't looked recently. If you've got it up right now, they were averaging under a goal per game for a large stretch of this season.
Where are we at right now? I mean, they have played 19 games. They have scored 21 goals.
Okay, so just
right
about
there.
Right there. Yeah. But look, I don't want this to be a get right game for Seattle. In fact, we were talking before we started recording. Is this the game that gets Schmetzer fired if they lose this? Like because this team does have the ability, this FC team, to hang like 4 or 5 on you.
Yeah.
Like
it could get ugly. They've got a ton of injuries, and that's ultimately the saving grace for Schmetzer, is that they have so many injuries. Every good player Jesus Ferreira apparently is likely out for the season. That came out of the game this week, right? Like they are just, all of their dudes are hurt long term. It's gonna be tough for them. This is a team that doesn't spend a lot of money. Like they have a system there of constantly bringing in youth players and having solid players around them and spending smart on internal league transfers. But they're not the type to go out and drop, $12 million on an attacking midfielder to help this team out, or buy a $10 million striker. It's not really their MO. And their best bet is just keep promoting from Tacoma Defiance, their Seattle 2 team. It's just not enough. It's not enough to compete in this league. The talent is good when surrounded by solid, great players, which they've always had. Those guys aren't there. They're hurt right now, or they're not living up to what they were supposed to be. And you're still bringing up all the young guys. It's not getting it done.
This is terrifying me now, hearing all this. The being in the room with the cornered animal is never a good sign.
They're traveling as well, which is always a detriment in MLS. Like everything is going for FCC here, which is what what ultimately gives you pause here, right? Like,
it feels like trap game. Is that what we call this in other sports right here?
Yeah.
That you're looking past the team that has lost a shitload of games, that isn't winning, that is really hurt. Because we get hurt by when the kids start playing. It feels like that when you start seeing guys with numbers in the 70s and 80s, they're fast, we're slow, and we give up the dumbest goals you can possibly imagine in those situations.
We don't have tape on them. And, man, I would love – there's no good way to get this research. I would love to see, like, which teams do guys score their first goal against, and do we have a sort of outsized contribution to this league's player's first professional goal? Because it feels like every game we're giving a guy his first professional goal.
I mean, there's this, and then the week after you got a matchup with the number one team in the East, number one team in MLS, Nashville. This does have trap game written all over it for the FC.
Is there a Wednesday
don't love
game?
that. There is not. We're done with Wednesday games for a couple of weeks.
Oh. So
yeah.
You got to try. Like, this can't be a trap game because you're looking at if Nashville was Wednesday, 100% trap game. This is a game we're going to lose because we are looking ahead and we are rotating against Seattle. Full week of rest. Did anybody come out of that game hurt? I think we should have the full roster available for us.
Full roster. I mean, they even gave Matt Miazga some time off. So if you're looking to have fresh legs for everybody, feels like everybody's available for selection. I would guess that you'll have availability for just about everyone. I can't think of anyone who, maybe Obi would be one who gets some time off just because, I don't know. There's no reason not to put the ones in and just go for it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, this would be, especially against Seattle, which tough year for them. But, like, I was just saying it before, it's a brand in MLS. Like, this is one of the more successful, prestigious teams. The one time they didn't make the playoffs in their franchise history, they won CONCACAF Champions League. Like, that's the kind of team that they've been. Although I think they missed the playoffs last year and didn't win.
And plus you've got to, like, look, you have to think that you're playing for a point against Nashville, going to Nashville at best.
Yeah.
So it makes getting 3 points more imperative right here, because you know that you got a really, really tough matchup that you're probably not going to get points out of the week after. So if you're able to get 3 here, then you don't love getting a 1.5 out of the 2 games together, like averaging a 1.5 over 2 games. But it's better than getting a 1 or getting an 0 for in 2 games. So get your points here, and then just, hope for the best versus Nashville. But Nashville's clocking people. I don't know when we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. Chief, does Sharilla make the game day roster?
No.
Ooh. Okay.
What? I mean, he hasn't for like a month. Why would we change that now?
I don't know. It's not a school night.
Right. Vibes.
It would be nice.
Yeah. Kevin, what do you predict? Let's do it.
FC Cincinnati wins 5-2.
I am going to say they win 2-1.
Okay.
I don't know.
Why not?
Why not?
Everything feels possible right now. Like,
right.
with the possible exception of us getting blown out. And now I am hesitant to say that out loud, but also whatever.
Yeah, no, don't put that out there. Don't do that.
But it's MLS.
We done here?
And it's weird. Yeah, let's kill this.
Fuck Columbus.
Boom.